What's up, scarred ones? It's Johnny. Got a split decision here, and I need your guys' help on it. We are deciding if we're going to release Hearing the Haunted on its own feed, or if we're going to release Hearing the Haunted here on the Sirenicide feed. Now, there is a poll on patreon.com/Sirenicide, and you guys can access that poll even if you're not a paid subscriber to our Patreon page. You can just go there. It's a public post. Now, you might have to create a Patreon account to log in to vote on it. But you can also go to our social media platforms and let us know there as well. It's not a poll, but I monitor all those, so I'll get the message. The reason we're bringing this up is because originally I was just going to release the show on its own feed. But I didn't want to just skew that because I had a lot of fans messaging and asking, and people I know asking if we're going to be releasing the story on both feeds, which I don't want to do. I think it's completely ludicrous to have one scary story being on a Sirenicide feed and on the Hearing the Haunted feed. So the first agenda here of this little, I'm not going to take much of your day, so don't just shut this off, I promise, is I need to know if you guys want to have Hearing the Haunted on the Hearing the Haunted podcast feed, its own one, or if you want it on the Sirenicide feed, this one that you're listening to. If you could, again, Sirenicide, that's SIRENICIDE, very easy to spell, .com or sirenicide@gmail. Let us know there, or any of our social platforms. And again, it's Sirenicide on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, pretty much anything. It's just Sirenicide. Now, here are the arguments for and the arguments against. Briefly, the reasons people have asked for it, the main, is really the only one, is they just want to go ahead and have the story in the place that they were already listening to Sirenicide. And that's pretty much it. Now, of course, for us, yay, our new podcast automatically reaches an established audience. Another, I guess, plus. And that's pretty much where they end, I think, because for one, I'd really like to see the show grow on its own. And that's just from a creator standpoint. From a fan standpoint, the stories are not serialized. So even though they take place in the Sirenicide universe, be it back in caveman times, during the Renaissance, during the World War eras, modern era, or the post-anathema era. And if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to spoil that for you, but there's a whole 4 seasons of the show that you're listening to this feed that's on there. Go back and take a listen. Now, most of the time you meet these characters, they're not going to be characters that were in the serialized story. And if the stories do have any of the serialized characters in it, it's not going to be like you have to have heard Sirenicide to enjoy anything on Hearing the Haunted. Hearing the Haunted is a platform I've created because I want people to be able to write within this universe that we've created. Because we had that asked a lot during the shows. Can I submit a story? I would love to have a story in the Sirenicide universe. So that's what we have now. There's guidelines on hearingthehaunted.com. If you go there, there's a video, it's like 10 minutes that I walk through how to write a story for us, what we're looking for, what audio drama is versus, other types of storytelling. And we've had a lot of submissions. Right now, I think we have over 15 submissions, and out of those, over half of them have already been casted, and I think over half of those have already been put into the archive folder ready for release on October 31st, 2020, which is when we're going to be dropping Hearing the Haunted. So, should it be on its own feed, or should it be on this feed? That is the question. So if you could go to our poll and vote, that'd be really great, because right now, like I said, it's a split decision. It's 50-50, and I'm looking for a little bit more input on that so I can make a decision. Okay, next on the agenda is the ICE episodes. Right now, the most current thing that's been released on this feed is the interviews with the people that were in the serialized show. I'm going to be moving all of the ICE episodes to our YouTube. Now, it's not because we're trying to become some great YouTube channel. I just do want a place where they're still accessible to the public on any platform, any cell phone, any TV, that you can still get to them if you want to re-listen to one. Or we're going to be putting a disclaimer at the end of the Sirenicide series. I'm going to be uploading one that basically says, for behind the scenes on the show, check out sirenicide.com on our Patreon or on the YouTube. So they're going to be the 3 places that you can get it. Now, on the .com, it's just going to link to the Patreon feed. So if you're a patron, you're automatically going to have easy access to all of those on their own feed. And any new ones that come out, we will release here on the feed. Probably keep them up for about 6-7 months. And then once the stats kind of die down on them, then we will archive them to our YouTube and to the Patreon feed. And for you loyal patrons, you're going to get them before they release here on this feed. So just one more perk for supporting Cybernicide, whether it's $1. And keep in mind, when you support us on Cybernicide, you're supporting Hearing the Haunted and everything that we have going on there. We're not creating two different supports. Like right now, if you go to patreon.com/cybernicide or cybernicide.com/donations, you'll see everything is branded Hearing the Haunted, us gearing up, getting ready for the launch of that podcast. So ICE episodes are going to be for patrons and available on YouTube. And what are we doing here? Are we going to do Hearing the Haunted right here where you're listening, or Hearing the Haunted on its own podcast feed? Let me know in the comments on the episode, again, on all of our social medias. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're staying safe out there and staying sane. We're hard at work on these stories for you guys, getting ready to launch it in October. That's pretty much it. Stay scarred and get ready to get haunted. Talk to y'all later.